to martial law. All that legalese bullshit, you gotta be able to see through that shit. It don't mean shit, man. It's just bullshit.
There was another article where one of the guys in the army, he basically came back and tweeted against the MP and said, if we don't leave, you guys are stupid. If we don't leave, then there's going to be a riot, a bloodthirst of 17 million people. And I was thinking, what 17 million people is he talking about? And then the army came out, a spokesperson said, oh, he doesn't reflect the rest of the army. Like damage control. Yeah. But basically he was trying to say, look man, they obviously, people in the army, they obviously hear things and know things.
Yeah.
Of what's being planned and what's being for the people. You know?
I'll read a little bit into it. It says, but he believes this may be...
Break it down wherever you see fit, any of you, brother.
Okay, yeah. It says he believes this may be a pretext to using an act that would allow the Prime Minister to declare a state of emergency. Right? We've already seen Boris Johnson is willing to break the law, right? He's willing to do whatever he wants. To the Queen.
Let's imagine to the Queen.
Unprecedented. Right? Such undemocratic tactic, which once again proves he's already broken the law, so...
And they can't say shit to it.
He's got to be him and Trump, they just got to be the last guys.
Yeah.
This is the end, bro.
That's that problem, man.
Trump and Boris, like, as Prime Minister.
Separated at birth, man.
This got to be the end, man.
Well, Trump might be his father, man. You never know Boris Johnson's father.
Boris, I am your father. It says such undemocratic tactics echo those used by Johnson's supporter Donald Trump when he tried to force an unwilling Congress to fund his border war with Mexico. Yeah.
That's it.
So let me, this one last bit. It's a quote from Mr. Green. The message coming from Downing Street is we have to leave by October 31 or there will be riots. My suspicion is that they may be planning to use the 2004 Civil Contingencies Act to suspend that law on the grounds that otherwise there will be riots before and afterwards.
Sorry, run that by me one more time.
It says, my suspicion is that they may be planning to use the 2004 Civil Contingencies Act to suspend.
I believe that Civil Contingency Act is what the Operation Yellowhammer, if you brothers know about Operation Yellowhammer, is basically what the contingency plan that's in place for when the month that they projected worth of anarchy that could unfold on society, gas prices hiking up, lack of food, and also lack of medical supplies. So those various things that falls under Operation Yellowhammer. Look it up. And even, I'll just go into it a bit. The Yellowhammer, the reason why it's called Operation Yellowhammer, Yellowhammer is a bird, right? That's it's native to mainland Europe and the UK. And basically, when you check it out, it basically is known, it's one of you brothers, quick it up, look up Yellowhammer on Wikipedia.
Oh, you got it
already? Okay, brother sharp, man. Okay. Nah, you see, you got it, but what I want is
the bird itself.
The bird itself, yeah. Okay. But you know what?
Yellowhammer bird.
Yep. So it says the Yellowhammer is a...
No. Go down. This is the point I want. You're gonna use brother's phone. Just do it quickly.
I've already...
Okay, go to In Culture and go to the last paragraph.
In Culture, yeah.
Last paragraph.
Last paragraph. So it says on Wikipedia, Yellowhammer In Culture section on the last paragraph. It says an old legend links the Yellowhammer to the devil. Its tongue was supposed to bear a drop of its...
Now go open up a tab with Operation Yellowhammer and just get us a synopsis of Yellowhammer. Then we'll come back to that as well. Just to show you what we're dealing with right now. Remember the devil, October what date?
31. On Halloween, man.
Brothers know what's going on then, you know.
Alright, so this is Operation Yellowhammer.
Yeah.
On Wikipedia, it says is the code name used by the UK Treasury for cross-government civil contingency planning for the possibility of a no-deal Brexit. In the event of exit with no deal, the UK's unilateral departure from the EU could disrupt, for an unknown duration, many aspects of the relationship between the UK and the EU,
down.
That's it.
That's it.
Says Operation Yellowhammer is intended to mitigate within the UK the effects of this disruption and would be expected to run for approximately 3 months. It has been developed by the Civil Contingency Secretariat at
That's definitely demons, man. That's that destroy the bus folly demon. The demon school. Nice guy. That's serious, man.
Hey, we're bringing out some deep depths of wisdom, man. Saying angry, man. Huh?
right. Right. So it says, in early August 2019, after Boris Johnson had become Prime Minister, the Cabinet Office was not able to confirm that Operation Yellowhammer plan remained in place, although a Yellowhammer document from earlier that month was leaked in mid-August and continued to be updated. On 3rd September, Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, Michael Gove, whose responsibilities include preparation for no-deal Brexit, said in the House of Commons, Operation Yellowhammer assumptions are not a prediction of what is likely to happen. They are not a set of best-case scenarios or a list of probable outcomes. They are projections of what may happen in the worst-case scenario. An otherwise unchanged version of Yellowhammer leaked to the time was titled Base Case.
See, slow down. Go back. My worst-case scenario, and I'll read after that. Because this is why, you know, when you read these articles for a long time, you start clocking onto their little, how they're saying what they're saying, but they're trying to...
Language.
Yeah.
You're just saying it like it's not going to happen.
But
if
then
it
they're
does
saying
happen,
it's going to
we've got
happen.
something in place in
That's
this case
it,
happens.
yeah. Go and read it, bro.
Right. So I was just trying to see if there was a more brief one. It says Operation Yellowhammer. So this is Michael Gove. It says Operation Yellowhammer assumptions are not a prediction of what is likely to happen. They are not a best case scenario or a list of probable outcomes. They are projections of what may happen in the worst case scenario.
So basically saying these are projections of the worst case scenario. Go on.
Yep. An otherwise unchanged version of Yellowhammer leaked.
See? Now, they're saying this is the worst case scenario. But they said, furthermore, later on down the line, another updated leaked version came out. So, read it again.
It says an otherwise unchanged version of Yellowhammer leaked earlier to the Times.
Unchanged version. So they're trying to say, don't worry, because this is, you know, probably the worst case scenario. But then, if you know that, why is it not being changed? Why is it not being like, okay, this is the best case scenario, this is the worst case scenario, this is what we're probably gonna deal with. No, they didn't change it. So in their mind, this is what's gonna happen. They're pretty firm on the idea. Because remember, and I'm saying it remember, because I did a video on it, but I know this. The article I read about the medication, they were saying that that was the best case scenario. They weren't saying the worst case scenario. So the best case scenario is a month. But now they're talking about the worst case scenario. So it's not an option of they can't talk about it, it's what they want to talk about.
Yeah.
It's what they want to show you. The best case scenario for medication is 7,000 worth forms of medication taking about a month to get here. That's the best case scenario. But in the worst case scenario for Operation Yellowhammer is this basically. But I encourage all you brothers to go and like pull these things up and do it yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it says an otherwise unchanged version of Yellowhammer leaked to the Times was titled Base Case Scenario, rather than the reasonable worst case scenario of the officially published document.
Break that down, brother.
So basically what they're saying there is, okay, the original said base case, i.e. this is what we expect. This is what's going to happen. But then the official document that they said, okay, cool, You know, so this is what we internally are gonna expect.
I didn't even know they were gonna say that.
But out to the outside world, we gonna say this is the reasonable worst case scenario. And the thing is, anyone who works in Esau'S corporations know that he does that all the time.
Yeah.
Internally, you know, this business is fucked. Right, but to the outside world, they're saying our profits this year are amazing, but they don't tell you about the 10,000 people they had to fire to make it amazing profits. Right, but because internally they know what it is.
And then if you fire people, what does that mean? You just have more money to play with.
Yeah.
When Thomas Cook went down, no one knew that.
Yeah.
It was overnight. Woke up and then Thomas Cook was down. Unless you've been
People
following
on
trends.
holiday. And they found out, wait, hold on, Thomas Cook don't exist no more.
Hey, you were still able to book holidays on the day it went down.
So now, we ain't got no change, bro. We ain't got no change.
No change, sorry, my friend.
Right. Segment,
Yeah,
It says,
let's go.
it says was titled base case scenario rather than the reasonably worst case scenario.
So now going back to the medication, them saying that's going to be the best case scenario. Why are they saying that's the best case scenario? Because they want people to look at on the sunny side up of things and not really focus on, okay, what is the worst case? Because if you notice, people don't question anything. They just take it in and say, okay, best case scenario, we're only going to be dealing with for a month. They're going to say it like that. They're not going to think, wait, okay, then what's the worst case scenario?
Yeah.
They're just thinking that's the language they're projecting to them, you know?
Yep. It says,
That's enough on that though.
Back
Let's
on the
go
bird.
to the bird. Because you got an idea of what Operation Yellowhammer is about roughly, but really go do your research.
okay. It says back on the bird, it says an old legend links the Yellowhammer to the devil.
So now this Operation Yellowhammer is basically an operation of the devil, basically, of deception. Alright? Go and read.
Its tongue was supposed to bear a drop of his blood, and the intricate pattern on the eggs.
It said the tongue was meant to, meaning, what does it say in the scriptures? About Esau.
The word of his tongue was
Smooth in the bottom.
What was in his heart.
So the words he spoke basically were blood. You know, it's smooth words, but it led to what? Blood. So that's more or less the same thing.
Yep.
Go and read.
It says, and the intricate pattern on the eggs was said to carry a concealed, possibly evil message. These satanic associations sometimes led to the persecution of the bird.
Now read that last bit again about the evil, the message.
Right, it says, and the intricate pattern on the eggs was said to carry a concealed, possibly evil message.
Operation Yellowhammer is an evil message, basically.
Concealed.
A concealed evil message. When you have an egg, how you gonna find out the truth? You gotta crack it. So that's basically this is the shit we're dealing with, you know. And remember, this is coming on October 31st. That's gonna be the time. Now, if you know anything about these dates that they deal with, they're in commemoration of satanic high holy days.
Yeah.
All right. So this is what's going on. There's going to be blood sacrifices made on that day. There's going to be different forms of sacrifice. You can look it up online, satanic calendars, and they basically show you when those days come into line. Full moon is always meant to be a certain form of sacrifice, and you have to they go through a ceremonial set of things. All right. So that's the way it is. All right. I mean, that's all on Yellowhammer. You brothers, whatever you got, go with it.
I can't. So
I know you're holding it.
I've got first Malachi 1 and 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord, Jehovah Hashem Yahweh shall of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. And the reason I brought that out is I've got one article as well.
Yeah, go for it.
Is that basically they've also got this thing of a no confidence vote that they're trying to bring in from next week on Monday, where basically the MPs are going to try and lobby against Boris Johnson, saying they got a no vote on him. And then the plan is that they're gonna then get, I think, what's his name, Jeremy Corbyn, and throw him up in as a caretaker, like, you know, like as a caretaker manager, as a caretaker manager to try and delay Brexit, which goes into what when Yahushua cursed up the scribes and the Pharisees in Luke the 11th chapter, and he said, you know, if Satan be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand? You're witnessing a live example of that, where you actually got Edomites in the same country, but then they got a hate for each other, which shows you that this man's not fit to rule, because Edomites have the spirit where they'll kill like an Edomite will take his mother out in order to gain I can't even put it down to what Edomite wants to gain power, yeah, man. But they want more than power. They literally want to be the Most High, man. You know what I mean? But the Heavenly Father's got them in a trick bag, whichever way they go, ultimately speaking, man, it's gonna cause their demise, man. You know, because you got Boris Johnson trying to force through the Brexit. You got Edomites that are realizing, shit, man, we're actually fucked up. We're fucked. But it's all centering around. It's all centering around October the 31st, man, Halloween. Yeah. You know.
All Hallows Eve.
Yeah. Actually, I even got it. Luke 11 and 18. If Satan also be divided against himself, how then shall his kingdom stand? It says, because ye say that I cast out devils through Beelzebub, but hey, the elites of this society really are the ones that are orchestrating all of this, man. Because it's all the out of chaos, man. Because all of this really and truly is just an experiment, man. And really, man, like for example, I still remember when there was one occasion when I was working in central London, and then there was an occasion, I forget exactly what date it was, but you had it where there was I believe they claimed there was a fight on the underground, and you had it to where they hyped it up as a bomb threat, and then you had hundreds of people channel themselves through Regent Street, and that was really and truly, in the spirit, I believe that was just an experiment to see how people are gonna act when shit actually really goes down.
That was big, yeah. What we used to teach.
What we used to teach. Exactly, come.
I remember a lot of people spoke about it, because I even messaged people like, yo, are you around there? Because it seems like it's kind of crazy what's going on.
And even since then, how you know it was a false flag? Since then, how many murders and stabbings and shootings and all kind of madness has happened on public transport? You had, I think it was Hendon, you had it where a Jake got stabbed up recently to death in the station. So how is it that don't result in that? Do you know what I mean?
You even had a bomb scare on one of the trains as well.
Yeah.
And nothing came with that as well. So these things, when they put it in place, they're false flags, man. They're really to garner a reaction from the people. That's really it. All right. You got something?
Yeah. Well, real quick one. Job 14 and 4. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Because the Most High really and truly has put a spirit on these Edomites, man, to show themselves for the fools that they are, man. That's why no matter how much debating they do, no matter how much politicking and trying to resolve the issues that they have at base they do, there's nothing. No matter how much debating they do, there's nothing that they can do to resolve the issues that they have, man. And it's clear for all to see that all the other heathen are looking at Esau and realizing that this man is not the man to be ruling, man. This is Isaiah 14 and 1, even before the judgments come. Because people are looking at Esau thinking, is this the man? This is the British Empire that claimed that the sun would never set upon it. And you can clearly see that this place is ready to go, man. This is ready to go. Like even you got like a lot of these other industries. Like one thing that that employs a lot of people within the UK is retail. If you go like to Oxford Circus now, the majority of the shops that used to be there are all shut down because of the fact that these people, like the whole economic landscape has changed. People don't have money to waste on bullshit like they used to do back in the day.
And remember what they were saying about the recessions? What they used to say, we gotta spend our way through a recession. They were encouraging people to spend their money basically. But they ain't doing that no more. They ain't telling everyone, they're actually telling them, look, get 6 months worth of food, 6 months worth of canned goods and water for the Brexit.
This place is fucking dumb.
So, and the thing you gotta remember, when you deal with Hollywood, right, Hollywood, which actually means Hollywood, which goes back to the ones, yeah? Basically, they have a thing called predictive programming, which basically is more or less prophecy. Their way of saying prophecy. Predictive programming is to program the minds of the people into a way of thinking. So when we see movies like 28 days later, 28 weeks later.
Children of man.
Children of men.
Children of men, slutty.
And we're dealing with the UK-based movies, yeah? What they, or Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
What they always show is that the UK is still going, still functioning. But it's basically about to go down. That's where it's always on. It's always on the precipice of the end, basically. It's right where it's gonna fall. So, with that in mind, you gotta watch movies like Children of Men. That's a good movie. Because he's going, you got Clive Owen going into getting morning coffee, and guess what? When he's getting morning coffee, you got terrorist cells that are operating in London, in the city centre, laying off bombs or doing guerrilla warfare tactics, right? And then you got people locked up, immigrants locked up. Then you got the elites still functioning normal, still enjoying their life, all right? And you still have people going about their day-to-day life while other people that have lesser fortune are fucked up, basically. So this is where we're going with this. This is basically the transitional period that we're entering, right? We're more or less in it anyway from the kick of Brexit, right?
Yeah. Got something else.
Yeah. Second Esau'S, the 15th chapter, from verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and with swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. Because there's going to be ill feeling amongst men. Different nationalities blaming each other for what's going on within this establishment. Which shows you that
the video you posted, taking all our jobs, and they don't want to work.
And which shows you as well that whole concept of a metropolis, that's against scripture, because the Most High created the earth to have different nations on it, but ultimately speaking, every nation had their own plot of land. You're not supposed to be mixing nations, man. In the same way you don't mix seed, you don't mix fabric. The Most High has specific applications for different things.
Everything be done decently in order. Everything in this place, a place for everything and everything in this place, man. That's order, man.
It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall
even in that, it shows you that in Gangs of New York, man. If you watch Gangs of New York, you had the rich. They were like the 5 points. You had the rich. There was the rich people that would just be discussing about the poor, man. And when all hell kicked off, they came up to them and they were putting bricks through their houses and stuff like that in the movie. So that's prophecy, because it says, because you got in this society, you got the elites. They're not gonna get touched till Yahweh Shai comes. But then you got people that are rich, that are attainable, you can get to. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna happen. Because even in the city, where like in London, man, you've got politicians that actually live there. They live like in Islington. John Major grew up in Islington, man, in them nice houses there. They live there. Yeah. So in that day, when that all hell breaks loose, the Lord's gonna just guide people to go to them where them peoples are at. Yeah. You got the Tony Blair and them people, they live in fucking Islington and shit, man. So you got so that can
used to live there as well.
But in Islington, he used to just pedal
stations.
He pedaled bikes to work, but then he calls shots on the Iraq war and all that. But people are not seeing what's going on. So when all hell breaks loose, they're going to be targets, man. The kings. What did they say? The king.
They shall not regard their kings nor princes.
They said that they're not going to regard the rich. So all hell's going to break loose, man. The only ones that ain't going to get like touched, so to speak, is the super elite, because they're going to be saved until Yahweh Shai gets them. But these average politicians and these scapegoats, hey, the public is going to go crazy for them, man.
Yeah. This is Psalms 148. Their king shall be with fetters. Yeah, just back up there.
Nah, that's different.
That's the elites. That's the elites.
That's the elites. Yeah. He's talking about like politicians that are not of the elite standard, lesser luminaries and things of that nature. That's what it means in that scripture. Yeah. Because even like they showed you that in Hunger Games, but I only watched that, finished watching that now. At the end, the end is hard, man. Because the way they built that, women ain't got that kind of integrity unless, the Lord deal with them a certain type of way to but she done the right thing in the end because she knew it was just gonna revert back to the same thing. But the person that was left alone, I ain't gonna spoil it for anyone that ain't watching the movie. The person that was left there, the people, he was left, and the people wanted him dead, and they went and got him. And that's what happened, all right? Because these politicians, you got people out here, man, they're feeding into the book, the narrative that's being put out there, and they just might not like your face. The politicians out there, man. So the Lord's just gonna rouse up their spirit, put that spirit on them to go and pursue you, man. Even there's one politician, I forgot her name, man. She's a female Tory. And I always see her walk from my workplace. And I remember I always see her, I'm like, I swear you're... And she used to have that look like, shit, he knows who I am.
Because they're like in the public, but the demons have them protected, like they're under the radar.
And it's the thing, because where they are, technically, is the city centre. So no one ain't gonna do nothing in the city centre. You can, but I don't think you can get very far doing what you're doing because it's highly policed, highly surveilled. Surveyed, that's the word. So you can't get away with doing anything on them. And like you said, ultimately they got a spirit over them.
Yeah, and a lot of people in the society, they don't even know of the politics and the people who's in the place, because you be
don't watch it.
You don't watch it. It would be that you watch Parliament. You just see Parliament. When you see Parliament, it just looks like a bunch of Edomites, right? That you just see going to work every day.
Yeah.
But that person's in Parliament passing laws of what we're gonna eat here, what you're not gonna eat, what's allowed in Britain, what's not allowed. They're passing laws, man.
Yeah, I got a bit more.
Yeah, bro.
It says, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, like we just spoke of earlier. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have.
Oh, and I'm sorry. And when it said about the kings as well, there's the lady from Parliament from Birmingham, but she's the MP of. She comes to British Parliament. There was someone outside her house. It was an article. Someone was outside her house and he got arrested for some kind of harassment or something. So you see this.
Let's not forget the politician that got killed up in Yorkshire.
And yeah. So man, this is happening.
She got dumpy, man.
In Yorkshire, right by her apartment or place, a place of refuge.
That ain't no joke, man. Like there's a day of reckoning for these politicians, man. I'm sure even something. I saw an article because I got an alert. And someone got arrested for doing something for trying to invade Parliament or something like that. No, today.
There's a day of reckoning, man.
A man shall have no pity upon his neighbour, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's what you see, like a lot of these people are cold already. It's also in 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, it tells you, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And you can see it that and as the days go by, the years go by. I personally see it in the years, like every year that comes past, it's a new wicked vibration that comes out, and then people just get worse in the spirit. And you can see it up amongst our people, man. That LGBT is, like at a certain point, when they started doing them pride marches, Jake was fully against it. Now you've got a spirit of, a lot of our people are in the spirit of, like, well, it's a day out. It's like another, it's just another carnival. It's a new carnival. It's like the second carnival. Like everyone just goes out there like, fuck it, well, paint your face, like, and then what you gotta understand as well is that a lot of these, like back in the day as well, you always had them around, but that ghetto faggot Jake spirit of fuck it, you know what I mean? Like, there's new trends that come out and becomes more acceptable, man. And now you're gonna like we spoke earlier about pedophilia. That thing is gonna become, that's why the law's gonna judge this place, because there's manifold different amounts of wickedness, man. That's being perpetrated on the face of the planet Earth at this moment in time, man. Continuing on, it says, and spoil their good. Let me read that again. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's what Brexit is going to cause. If you look on the .gov website right now, they've come up with a whole new set of laws to what they're going to do in respect of a no-deal Brexit. And in Esau'S fashion, Esau won't make the shit simple. He'll give you like a 6-page document of tons and tons and tons of what ifs. Like they're saying some shit about how you gotta now apply for a European economic driving license, you gotta apply for an EU driving license if you wanna go over there.
Yeah.
You gotta, if you wanna visit your family here and you're from the EU, you gotta apply for some new type of temporary visa. People are just gonna, it's gonna get to a point where people are gonna just lose it and have enough. Because that's what Esau does. He likes to have that bureaucracy. Like even in the law that we have, if a man commits a certain sin, you examine it, you get it done. In Esau's, let's say a man commits a murder in the sight of two or more witnesses. If there's witnesses and they declare that he's done what he's done, you put the man to death there instantly in front of the people so that the people see it and they fear. In Esau's system, you have a trial. The shit might last for 2 years. You go back and forth. You might get off. You might have Amalek for a lawyer and get off. Which shows you that this place is unrighteous, man. That's why you can't trust in these politicians, man.